Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video. So I wanted to ask you, are you disappointed often? Definitely want to bring this up because it seems like many people are disappointed pretty often. And so there's a couple parts to this, and I'm going to read some verses, of course. But if it feels like you're disappointed often, the first part of this is really it's a sub question is, you know, who or what do you put your trust in? Okay, is the first thing. Okay, so if you're one that says, whatever, this politician or the government always disappoints me, or this person always disappoints me, or my paycheck always disappoints me, or anything along those lines. Okay, or your spouse or your best friend and all that stuff, right? People close to you. People close to me always disappoint me, type of deal. If it's the case that it seems like that happens often, first of all, you want to definitely look at, like, who or what are you putting your trust in? Okay. Now, this took me a long time to really understand it, to make it real in my life. Okay. Because with disappointment comes pain in some way. I mean, unexpected things that you didn't plan for, any kind of trials, tribulations, any kind of suffering or hurt emotionally or mentally. There can be a lot of the results of having disappointment. So the first thing about your trust, and I've talked about this definitely, and it took me a long time, so I'm speaking from experience, so I'm not pointing fingers, but if you want to hear or listen or try this out, I highly suggest it, if you don't know already. But people, and I think most of us will say this or accept this, that nobody's perfect. Okay? Nobody is perfect. Nobody, we're all evil here. Okay? We all have some sort of moments or situations that we put ourselves above others. Okay? I think most, if not really everyone would accept that as truth. So the thing is do you put your trust in people or systems or organizations that are ran by people? Okay? Because eventually, if you understand that nobody's perfect, okay, that at certain times people are going to put themselves above others, why would you put your trust in them? Okay? Because it's eventually you're going to be disappointed. Okay? You're going to be disappointed. And so what took me a long time, and again, it wasn't just hearing the words, it was actually living my life that way, is putting my trust in God. Okay? Who never shakes, who never changes, who doesn't have ego, who is the infinite. Okay? Who knows me better than I know myself, and who created me. And the thing is this, he never fails. He never shakes. He never disappoints. Okay? So trust the Almighty and not in man. And again, to really get to that point, you have to really know it. But to know you can trust God, you really have to experience God. And to experience God, you have to involve God. And you have to make him real in your life. And a suggestion that helped me was literally picturing him with you everywhere you are. If you're talking to him, it's not just kind of like picturing just the ether out there somewhere. Like literally picture him right beside you because he's always with you. Okay. And again, said this before. It's a conversation that never ends. Like you don't have to fill God in on what's been going on. Like you just share what's on your heart. He already knows everything. So it's a conversation that literally never ends. Okay. But like, you might rely on people and stuff like that. But really, when you put your trust in the Lord, you're never disappointed. Okay. And there's a difference there, and it's hard to convey it unless you experience it. But you're never disappointed. There's never that pain. There's never the pain of like backstabbing, somebody backstabbing you or whatever. Because unfortunately, people are fake, especially in this day and age. And maybe not even people, maybe even it's AI and you don't even know it, on social media and stuff. But that's a whole different topic. But I want to bring this up. If you find yourself disappointed often and you go through that pain, or maybe you've just gone through it so much that you tend to expect it. And that's another extreme that's not good, because then that's what you're expecting, that's what you will get. Okay? Because like I've said before, God gives us our desires of our heart. And even though you don't want it, you're expecting it. You think that's the reality, that's what's going to happen. You really are desiring it. Okay? Like it's not really thinking. It's literally what is in your heart and mind is what you will get. And so it's important to not set yourself up for disappointment. Okay? Now, like I said, there's kind of two parts to this, really. Like, who do you put your trust in? Okay. And also, do you set realistic expectations? And it kind of ties in with that first part. Like, people are not perfect. So why put your trust in imperfect people? Because you won't get perfect results every time. Okay. But it's kind of like your expectations too. So you have to kind of look at yourself as well. And it kind of also ties in with the video I talked about, about not being a hypocrite. Like, do you set unrealistic expectations for others that you wouldn't set for yourself? And this is like, not just talking about God or anything, but just this is like setting goals 101. You know what I mean? Like that course. That's one of the main parts of setting goals, is to be realistic. And if you're setting that expectation at an unrealistic level, you'll always be disappointed. Okay? So not everything I would say, but a lot of disappointment, and really, I'm just saying not at all, because there's maybe exceptions, but really, our disappointment comes from ourselves. What and who we put our trust in, and unrealistic expectations. Okay? You're setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, to go beyond that, if you do, put your trust in God, and your expectations are in the Lord, there's another part to that, because of course I can hear some people say, I've put my trust in God and He disappointed me. Okay, so there's a part of this that you need to understand, is to be patient too. Okay, it may this is so important to understand, because what is good for you, like what you're really seeking, more than likely, in many cases, will come in a way that doesn't look like the way you expected. Okay? And I've touched on this before, like, are you asking God for a bunch of money? Well, what do you need that money for? You want that money for security and all that stuff. Maybe you want it for selfish reasons and possessions that are not good for you. Okay? And God's going to always he always gives good gifts. He's not going to give you a gift that's bad. So don't always set those expectations for God's gifts to look a particular way, because again, you can miss them. Okay? You can be disappointed, but you really are getting that's best for you. Because like the saying, sometimes the biggest blessing is when God says no. Okay? And you have to be open to that. It's not really thinking, and of course it's not our selfish wants and desires all the time. But again, that's why you also have to put your trust in God, knowing that He will give good gifts. And again, you know that when you experience it, and to experience it, you got to involve Him, and to involve Him, you got to be aware and seek Him. Okay, so it's really tied together, but there are, I would say, maybe a little bit different parts or branches off this tree to keep you from being disappointed or setting yourself up for disappointment. Okay, so I'm going to read some verses here, starting with Psalms chapter 27, verse 14. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. And I just was talking about that. He gives good gifts. But for you to know that, you have to experience them and all that. I've told you all that. But patience is a big thing, because it may not come on your timetable. You may have given up on it, and God's been working on setting it up to give it to you. It will always come at the perfect time, not your time, because He knows all. You don't know. So be patient is a key to not setting yourself up for disappointment. Know He loves you, know He gives you good gifts, and know it will come or not come at the perfect time. Okay? I'm going to read Psalms chapter 62, verse 5. My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from Him. That really just reinforces what I was just saying. You have to be patient. Okay? Because again, it will come in a form you probably least expect or don't expect. And it will come at a time probably that you don't expect. So it was the Lord. Okay? Because because if it happens on your timetable, the way you say and all that stuff, you may deceive yourself and feeding your own selfish ego that illusion that you made it happen. Or maybe it could be your testimony to share with others, and it happens in a way so they know it wasn't you. They can't say, oh, it was really because you did this, this, and this. You know what I mean? All glory to Him. Okay? All glory to God. And His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. Okay? But don't set yourself up for disappointment. Okay? I'm going to read Proverbs chapter 10, verse 28. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. Now, part of that is as far as the expectation of the wicked, really part of that, it's not just selfish things or evil desires and all that stuff, but also I think part of this is really on your own timetable, on your own, in your own way, through your own means, like your own understanding. Like, don't be wise in your own mind, because you don't know. And so, but when you hope, the hope of the righteous is in the Lord. You trust the Lord. Okay? The expectation of the wicked is, well, God, you're going to do it my way, because my way is better, is what you're saying when you have that mindset. Okay? So don't have expectations of the wicked. Okay? Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And that's God speaking there. And that kind of ties with what I was saying. Like, it will usually come in ways or means or timing that is unexpected. So you know it was the Lord and not anything you did or anyone else did. And also because there's nothing impossible with God. And like I said, this walk is magical, because there is no coincidences. Is no randomness when you're talking about the Almighty that created everyone, everything, and knows all. Like, there is no randomness. So don't use worldly measurements in thinking that, oh, well, that was just a coincidence, or that's something small. It's not worth God's time. Like, he's infinite. There is no lack. There is no finite resources or time he has to apply himself. Okay? And that's when it's magical and exposes you, like I said, to new things. Like, he can make a way in the wilderness. He can make rivers in the desert. He can do that. He can have a water spring from a rock in the desert, like the Israelites for the 40 years in the wilderness. But so don't limit God. And again, don't have expectations of the wicked telling God how to do things. Like your way is better than his. Okay? I'm going to read Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And again, that's putting your trust in the Lord. Your expectations are in the Lord. Your hope is of righteousness in the Lord, because he is not evil. There's no part of evil in him. Okay, he's only good. He is good. Like, we are not good. There's evil in us all. So don't put your trust in people. Don't set unrealistic expectations on people, because we are limited. But with God, there's no limits. There's nothing impossible. And there's no disappointments. Like, you really have to, because I know, like, for me, I had a mindset of, like I was really saying, like, in my mind, this is good for me, or I knew what was good for me. I knew the way that was best for me. I knew that stuff, right? Well, if God's answer is no, then you really have to take a look at yourself and what it was. And that's why he's the rock. And that's why you need to trust in him over yourself. Okay? And again, it's kind of hard to convey this. But when you know, after experiencing, it is like, it's world changing, because it's literally reality changing. Like, there is no randomness, or there is no, like I said, chance. There are no bad things that can happen to, like, there's no injustice, okay? Like, you don't need to worry, fear, doubt, any of that stuff. You don't. Like, you can think about it this way: we're in the matrix, and God has all the coding of the matrix. Think of it that way, okay? So, anyways, again, there's, no matter what it looks like in our eyes and our limited understanding and on worldly measurements and all that stuff, there's always an expected end that is good. Okay? The last one I want to read here is Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And that speaks to being patient. It speaks on staying on the narrow path. Don't be discouraged because your own expectations or timetable were not met and you're disappointed. Okay? Keep on the path. Keep on the way. Follow our Lord Jesus Christ, who is the way, and he is the truth, and he is the life. Don't go down the wide road to destruction where it's just, I'm the victim, God doesn't love me, or there is no God. I have to look out for myself because no one else does. Like that way of thinking, don't do that. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because the agents of darkness are going to attack you when you're on the right path. It's not easy. But we've already won. Our Lord already won this war. I said that you're literally fighting in a war in every moment of every day. You are. By every choice you have, every thought, every emotion. Try to live in the moment and be love every moment. That's what we got to try to do. And then everything else is worked out. Okay? And again, I don't expect you to believe me on this stuff, but I'm trying to tell you from the perspective, because I've been on both sides of this. I'm not in your shoes, of course. I'm not claiming that. I've had my own journey, but I've been on the worldly side of things and on the real reality of things, the real reality of things. And, if you wish to know, just talk to him. Just ask God. Don't go to a religion, man-made traditions, man-made titles, man-made labels, all that stuff. Just literally, honestly, with authenticity and with openness and with your heart, with that emotion to desire to know, humbleness that you need his help. And he will show you so you know. And when you know the truth, it makes you free because you see the illusions that the enemies or rulers of darkness of this world try to use. Because, and once you start to see more, you see how constantly in almost all moments of the day throughout the day, the enemy tries to give this messaging to try to convince us that you're just a cog in the system, that you're helpless, that you might as well just give up, and that you're a victim. Like, the victim mindset is evil, because you're never a victim. Even if there's been an injustice towards you, the equalizer of all, the Almighty, like, doesn't let everything's just. Okay? Like, he loves you infinitely, but we can't fulfill the law because we're evil. And so he literally sent Jesus Christ to make a way for us, to fulfill the law, because he can't just stop the law. Then it wouldn't be a law. Okay? And so, but that's how amazing he is. Like, when you really think about it, it's not worldly thinking. It's not human thinking. It's way better. And when you get glimpses of it, it is just like mind-blowing, okay? So anyways, don't set yourself up for disappointment. Don't put your trust in men. Put it in the Lord. And be patient on his ways, his timing, and that he knows what's good for you. Don't set unrealistic expectations, okay? Um, and through those means, setting yourself up for disappointment, okay? So anyways, if you like the video, thank you for watching. First of all, if you like the video, thumbs up. Always put comments and questions and stuff down below. And if you liked it, of course, please subscribe to support the channel, and ring-a-ding-a-ling that bell for notifications to let you know when I upload videos. And as always, stay strong and God bless.